The Tower of London's macabre 1,000-year history was analysed in a Channel 5 documentary last night. The latest episode of Inside the Tower of London looked at how the site's rubbish was, at one time, dumped into the River Thames. It featured a team of archaeologists, who conducted a pioneering survey into the tower's waste disposal method. Presenter Tracy Borman, who is a Tudor historian and joint chief curator at Historic Royal Palaces, caught up with the group. She discovered how experts unearthed some remarkable finds, including 1,000-year-old pottery and ancient armor. From Anne Boleyn to Guy Fawkes, the Tower of London has held many famous prisoners throughout its history. Two of its most mysterious residents were the princes in the tower, Edward V and Richard, the Duke of York, who were born during the Wars of the Roses. After Edward IV died, his brother Richard was named Lord Protector of his heir, King Edward V, and his younger son, Richard, Duke of York. However, the young boys were murdered in the tower's prison aged just 12 and 9, respectively. The two youngsters' disappearance in 148 has been the subject of rigorous debate among historians over the years. The theory that the boys' uncle, the Duke of Gloucester Richard III, who placed them in the tower for protection, killed the young princes has often been put forward. While some historians have argued Richard turned on his own nephews in a medieval power grab, others have branded such characterization Tudor propaganda, propagated by the plays of Shakespeare. An academic paper from February this year shed new light on the mysterious deaths of the princes, adding weight to the theory that points the finger at the prince's uncle. Tim Thornton, a professor of history in the Department of History, English, Linguistics and Music at the University of Huddersfield, spoke to Live Science. He discussed how a previously unknown, inside source, implicated Richard in the prince's murders. Mr. Thornton's study provided a fresh analysis of Sir Thomas More's History of King Richard III. The book, published after Sir Thomas was executed by King Henry VIII in 155, is widely held as one of the most influential accounts to accuse Richard of the murder. Mr. Thornton described it as a coherent and detailed narrative of the murders, of personnel involved and orders given. The expert explained how Sir James Tyrrell, who was in charge of the prince's execution, ordered his horsekeeper, John Dighton, and a tower guard called Miles Forrest to carry out the killings. Little is known about the two alleged executioners, however. Forrest is of particular interest to Mr. Thornton. His study revealed how the tower guard had two sons, Edward and Miles, who both became popular figures in the court of Henry VIII. For Mr. Thornton, this is a key bit of evidence as it means Sir Thomas likely rubbed shoulders with Forrest's sons. He said, More had direct access to the sons of a man who was in the tower with the princes in 148, and who More says was the chief murderer. He added, this evidence opens up the strong possibility that Edward and Miles Jr. were the channel for information about the murders. Far from being purely propaganda or a much later embroidery of earlier vague stories, More's account therefore potentially drew on very immediate access to members of the family of one of the alleged murderers. Inside the Tower of London can be watched on My 5.